Hi everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the medical surgical nursing 2 for the GNM second year. So in that we are going to discuss about the unit 9, that is nursing management of patient with the musculoskeletal disorders. So in that we are going to discuss about the congenital deformities. So the congenital deformities means there is a by birth itself there is a abnormality can be present in the baby. So there is a congenital deformity. So by birth itself there is a abnormality can be present in the baby. So it is called as congenital infirmity. So in this we are going to discuss about the clubfoot. So clubfoot, it is the one of the congenital deformity in the musculoskeletal disorders. So the clubfoot means there is a common malformation of the foot that is evidence at birth. So by birth itself there is a malformation of the foot. So the foot is become abnormal at the birth of the baby. So at the birth and there is a abnormal development of the foot. There is a common malformation of the foot that is evident at the birth. There is a malformation occur in the foot during the at the birth of the patient, at the birth of the baby. And next one is the foot is turned in sharply so that the person seems to be walking on his her ankle. So the clubfoot. So because in the clubfoot what will happen means the foot is become turned inside. So the foot, the sole of the foot, and it can be turned inside of the body, and because so that the person seems to be walking on his her ankle. So the person is not able to walk normally on the foot, and because of inverted foot there is a the person may be walking on his or ankle. So the total balance can be maintained on the ankle of the foot. So the patient is not able to walk on the foot and he will walk on the ankle. So more balance can be maintained on the ankle. So the clubfoot means there is a common malformation of the foot that is evidence at birth. So at the birth there is a malformation can be occur in the foot. It is called as clubfoot, and there is a clubfoot, it is become turned in sharply so that the person become walk on ankle. So next one is causes. So the causes includes the family history. So if the family members having any history of clubfoot, and there is a more chances to get the clubfoot in the family. And next one is position of the baby in the uterus. So during the development of the fetus in the mother's womb there is a improper position of the fetus, and it is also caused the clubfoot. So next one is neuromuscular disorders like spina bifida and cerebral palsy. So spina bifida means there is a improper development of the spinal cord. So because of the improper development of the spinal cord, and it is called as spina bifida. So next one is cerebral palsy. So cerebral palsy means there is a become muscles and the nerves and become weak, and it is become improper development can be occur in the cerebral palsy. So because of this neuromuscular disorders, because there is a improper development of the muscles and the nerves, and it causes the spina bifida and cerebral palsy. So it is also one of the cause for the clubfoot. And next one is oligohydramnios. So oligohydramnia means there is a decreased amount of the amniotic fluid in the mother's womb. So it is also one of the cause for the clubfoot. So there is a oligohydramnia means there is a decreased amount of the amniotic fluid in the mother's womb. So it is also one of the cause for the clubfoot. So the causes includes the family history and position of the baby in the uterus, and the neuromuscular disorders such as spina bifida and the cerebral palsy. And next one is oligohydramnios. And next one is the classification. So the classification of the clubfoot, it includes the Talipes varus. So Talipes virus, it is also known as Talipes equinovirus. So Talipes virus, it is also known as Talipes equinovirus, and it is very common congenital deformity of the foot. So it is, while comparing with the other club foot, and it is Talipes virus is become more common, and it is a more common congenital deformity of the foot. So in this Talipes virus, the limb is twisted. So the foot is become twisted inside of the body. So because of this twisting of the foot, and the person is maintains the balance over the ankle. So by the ankle itself only the person is able to walk. So on the foot the patient is not able to walk, and the patient has to be keep more balance on the ankle, and by the ankle only the patient is able to walk in the Talipes virus. So it is a become congenital, very common congenital deformity of the limb, and the limb is twisted, and up to the limb is twisted, the foot is become twisted inward, and the person is maintains the balance over the ankle. By the ankle only the patient is able to walk. So next is the Talipes valgus. So in the Talipes valgus, it is a club foot of the limb deformity resulting in the permanent eversion of the foot. So there is a eversion, means there is a, the foot is twisted outside of the body. So if the foot is become like this, it is become twisted outside of the body. So Talipes valgus means there is a deformity resulting in permanent eversion of the foot, and so that the inner side of the sole rests on ground. So the foot is become twisted outside of the body, and the sole of the foot become rest on the ground. So the sole, inner part of the sole become rest on the ground, and the foot is become everted outside of the body. So it is called as Talipes valgus. Talipes valgus means there is a deformity resulting permanent eversion of the foot. So the foot is become like this. So it is a eversion from the outside. Eversion means outside of the body. So and there is a inner side of the sole become rest on the foot, rest on the ground. So it is a Talipes valgus. And next one is Talipes equinus. So Talipes equinus, in which the sole is permanently flexed, so that the walking is done on the toes. So in the Talipes equinus, what will happen means that the sole is, so the sole of the foot is become flexed. So it is become flexed like this. So that the walking is done on the toes. So the walking can be occur on the toes. So the patient is become keeps more balance on the toes. So by the toes only the patient is able to walk. So Talipes equinus, what will happen? The foot is become flexed like this. So foot is become flexed like this, and the patient is become able to walk on his toes. And next one is without touching the heel to the ground. So the heel is become high and the toes become on the ground. So the heel does not touch to the ground. So it is the Talipes equinus. So Talipes equinus means there is a flexion of the foot and the patient is able to maintain the balance over the toes. So the heel is does not touch to the floor and only the toes become touches to the ground. And next one is Talipes calcaneus. So in the Talipes calcaneus, this is a twisted position of the ankle. So twisted position of the ankle, heel, toes and toes are higher than the heel. So in the Talipes calcaneus, what will happen means the toes become high. So the foot is become flexed upward. So Talipes calcaneus, in the Talipes calcaneus, the foot is become extended. So it can be extended upside. So the heel is become on the ground and the toes is become upside. So in the twisted position of the ankle, heel, toes and toes are higher than the heel and foot is become flexed and heel alone touches the ground. So the heel is become touches to the ground and the toes become upside of the heel, so higher than the heel. So it is called as talipes calcaneus. The four types includes the talipes varus. So talipes varus, talipes valgus and talipes equinus and talipes calcaneus. So in the talipes varus what will happen means there is a inward flexion of the inward twisting of the foot. So the patient is more able to keep pressure or the balance over the ankles. So the patient is able to walk on the ankles. It is called as talipes varus. And next one is talipes valgus. It is become permanent eversion of the foot. There is a flexion of the foot outside of the body. There is a eversion means outside of the body the foot is become flex, and so that the inner side of the sole is become on the ground. So because of the eversion of the foot there is a inner side of the sole become inner side of the sole it can be rest on the ground. It is called as talipes valgus. And next one is talipes equinus. So in the talipes equinus what will happen means the sole is become permanently flexed. So in the talipes equinus what will happen means the foot is become flexed down and the toes become on the ground and the heel is become higher than the toes. So the toes cannot be touches to the toes can be touches to the ground and heel cannot be touches to the ground. So next one is talipes calcaneus. So in the talipes calcaneus there is a extension of the foot. So by the extension of the foot the maintains the balance over the heel. So by heel can be touches to the ground and the toes become higher than the heel. So it is called as talipes calcaneus. So next one is clinical manifestations. In the clinical manifestations there is no discomfort or no pain. So the patient does not have any discomfort or any pain because of the club foot, and there is no pain and there is no discomfort, and the affected foot may be up to 1/2 inch shorter than the other foot. So if the patient having club foot and the affected foot is become 1/2 inch less than when comparing with the other foot, it is become very small, it is become 1/2 inch less when comparing with the other foot. So next one is affected foot lacks full range of motion. So which one is affected by the club foot? There is no movement can be present, only it lacks the range of motion. So there is a movement can be lost in affected foot. Next one is the front half of the foot is turned inward and giving the foot a kidney bean shape. So the front of the foot, so the fingers can be twisted inward. So because of this twisting of the foot and there is a formation of the kidney bean shape. So because of the foot is become turns inward and it forms the kidney bean shape. If the foot is become turns inward and it forms the kidney bean shape. And next one is mild calf atrophy. So in the mild calf atrophy. So calf atrophy there is a loss of muscle tissue. So it is become very smaller when comparing with the normal. So there is a mild calf atrophy means there is a loss of muscle tissue. So mild calf atrophy means there is a loss of muscle tissue and it is become smaller when comparing with the normal. Next one is mild hypoplasia of the tibia and fibula bones of the foot. So the tibia and fibula there is a bones can be present in the lower leg and there is a bones of the foot become there is a mild hypoplasia means there is a improper or incomplete development of the bones called as mild hypoplasia. So there is a improper development of the tibia and fibula and foot and the bones of the foot. So because of this improper development of the bones it causes the club foot. And next one is awkward gait. So acquired gait, so in the acquired gait means there is a, the patient is not able to walk properly, so it is a abnormal walking, so it is called as acquired gait. Acquired gait means there is a improper walking or unable to walk properly, so it is called as abnormally walking. So it is the clinical manifestations for the clubfoot. Thank you.